CarolinaPrepper.com. CarolinaPrepper.com. If you're looking for quality food storage for hiking, fishing, hunting, basic survival needs, or just for everyday use, check out our food storage line at CarolinaPrepper.com. We also carry other fine quality products such as our can concealment holsters for men and women. Keeping your firearm under cover and within reach puts confidence in your hands in any situation. Our products are 100% American made. Check us out today at CarolinaPrepper.com. And good morning, everybody. How are you? It's Tuesday. Hey, Gary. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Danielle. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Gary, just wondering where Hugh is. Haven't seen him in days. Tell him we said hi. Good morning, Mary Ann. Hey, everybody. Lynn, good to see you. Tammy, hello. Janice, good to see you. Glad everybody is here. Political Paramore, Chicago Pops. Good morning. Hacking JPR. Good morning. Okay, so while you're retweeting this and inviting people in and sharing this, I'm going to read a Psalm 138 for you. I will praise you with my whole heart. Before the gods, I will sing praises to you. I will worship toward your holy temple and praise your name. For your loving kindness and your truth, for you have magnified your word above all your name. In the day when I cried out, you answered me and made me bold with strength in my soul. All the kings of the earth shall praise you, O Lord, when they hear the words of your mouth. Yes, they shall sing of the ways of the Lord, for great is the glory of the Lord. Though the Lord is on high, yet he regards the lowly, but the proud he knows from afar. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you will revive me. You will stretch out your hand against the wrath of my enemies, and your right hand will save me. The Lord will perfect that which concerns me. Your mercy, O Lord, endures forever. Do not forsake the works of your hands. Amen. I know the trolls came in. Start talking about God, it brings them in, and then we bring them right back out. Good morning, Clint. How are you? Ron, good to see you. You're not late. Hey, Donnie, good to see you. First block of the morning. Hey, Robin, good to see you. Thank you, everybody, for retweeting this and inviting your followers in. I really appreciate it. Catherine, good morning. How is everybody? I know. It's a shame. Good morning. Hey, Nancy, good to see you. We made it to the 12th, made it past yesterday's solemn occasion. I thought President Trump did a great job. Hillary trolls are triggered over her failing book sales. Yeah, I don't know if this is true, but I heard the major retailers are slashing her book already by 40%. Clint is blessed, so very blessed. Yes. Oh, my God, too, and we haven't even gotten to this. I know. Haven't even gotten to the opening. I wanted to let you know that some of the people that I've talked to, it seems that Cully is doing well. Shauna had about 10 to 12 inches of water, but she's doing well. I understand Jerry is without electricity, but she's cooking on her camping stove, but is safe. Marlene is also safe. So good to hear those people in Florida made it through without too many problems and are at least, very safe. Hey, Josette, good to see you. Oh, no problem, Josette. Yeah, it's very good news, Marianne. Very good news. South Carolina got it yesterday. Yeah, and so did Georgia. And it seems that Georgia got lights went out in Georgia, as they say. Hey, Robin, good to see you. Brian, good to see you. So, yeah, Georgia, where the VOP are, Georgia had the electricity out, and they're making do with what they can. I have a show this morning to do with my co-host, God's Views on Political News. He's in Tennessee. We're hoping that we'll be able to do the show because yesterday they were talking about everything was coming his way. Hey, Kentucky Bluegrass, how are you? I was worried about Shauna. Doesn't she have horses? She does, Catherine. Yeah, she has several of them, and everybody is okay, which is great news. For those of you who are on Facebook, just to let you know, we're being seen on Facebook Live, YouTube, and Periscope right now. So you'll hear me talking to different people that you aren't seeing, and I'm getting the conversation to you so that you and everybody can share in the conversation. So feel free to comment, and we'll be saying what you're talking about as well. So some good news today. Yesterday, the Dow soared 260 points after the information on Irma and North Korea. Ron said, I'm so happy I voted for a man who cares for the people. I know, Ron, exactly. And he really did a great job in that solemn occasion yesterday. I think that was one of the best that I've seen, and somebody who was taking it seriously. Hey, Hassan, good to see you. Thank you, Aletha, for the super hearts. People were pointing out the only thing yesterday he did not mention radical Islam or radical Islamists or anything like that. We need a day of praise. I think so, Barbara. Coming soon, I'm sure. It should be every day should be a day of praise, though. Actually, we lost 15 people from our country that sad day. Josette said in regards to September 11th. It showed it meant to him a lot, and the First Lady did an excellent job as well. There was some news yesterday that we weren't aware of. Thank you for, let's see, Benin Hamstery, whatever. It's your first day on Periscope. Welcome. Hey, Dawn, good to see you. Prayers for the Plano, Texas shooting victims this week, too. Some of Hassan's classmates' friends were victims to violence. Wow, that's the party for, I think, 9 people were killed, Hassan. From what they're all allegations, it looks like the husband and wife, that the wife was getting ready to divorce him, and they had an argument, went inside, and he opened fire on everybody. Those are the allegations anyway, at a party for football this weekend, watching the Cowboys. Yeah, that's horrendous. Horrible, horrible. Hey, Catherine, good to see you. Thank you for the compliment. But as I was going to say, yesterday we weren't made aware of it. But Vice President Pence had his life threatened by allegations by a 22-year-old National Guard who was arrested before he went and spoke in Pennsylvania yesterday. But it's something that the news mysteriously did not report on. Did anybody else hear about the National Guard threatening to kill the vice president? His name is William Dunbar. Hey, John Henry, good to see you. Ron says he was a fruitcake. Yeah, I didn't hear it. Apparently, he had threatened twice. Hey, LA15, good to see you. You saw it on Twitter? I know, Don, first time. Threatened via social media, or I don't know. It was a couple of times, Lori, so I don't know if it was on social media or not. I'm just surprised that we, aren't hearing anything about it. Wanda said she saw it on Facebook. Did not. Thanks. Yes. Thank you, Clint. Also, some other news. We were talking about the Dow a minute ago. It is up 51 points today. So that's more good news we're probably not going to hear about. Heard 3 things today on social media, not hearing on the morning news. I know, John Henry. The vice president's life gets threatened and we hear nothing about it. That's amazing. He said it while active duty. Secret Service will handle him. Yeah, he's already been arrested. I don't know if you heard this, but there's been an announcement that why the VP, Barbara, who knows? I mean, if you're not, okay, I guess you could go about it anyway. Thanks for giving us these updates. Much appreciated. You're welcome, Dawn. The communications director, new communications director, has supposedly been announced and hired, and that is Hope Hicks. And we heard about her a couple of weeks ago. She's a former Trump aide. She's was the White House Director of Strategic Communications, and she's going to become the communications director by all indications. So that's good news for her. It seems like she's a good person. A female again, he hates them so. I know, Barbara. He hates females and he's a racist. That's why the Attorney General is black as well. I listen to Fox and Friends News 24/7 even when I'm sleeping. That's too bad, Ron. You should have it, tuned here and also to my other shows on Spreaker. Also read a web of a woman from Texas, Red Cross throwing all supplies for dogs. Yeah, Red Cross, if you ever give money to Red Cross again, I'm going to ask you why. Why are you doing that? Heard so many horrible things. VOP had things to say about them. Hey, Marlene, thanks for retweeting. And so, I take it from them. I take their word on that it's true. I'm not sure about here. I don't know what that meant. Cully, thank you for inviting followers. Now, I always listen to you, always. Thank you, Ron. Good to know. Also, Bannon arrived in Hong Kong, and it just shows you how good the left's propaganda is. He was basically, booed, called a Nazi. They didn't want him there, that type of thing. So that was in Hong Kong. And so, again, you can see how well their propaganda is working. Just that, no, they would report on that. It's not important to them, but thank for the quick response. Bless God for them. I know, just that. That should be something that we would have heard about. You might also be interested in knowing that, let's see, Red Cross sucks. I witnessed their atrocities in Port Arthur, Texas, John Henry said. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And I know the woman on Facebook, thank you, Barbara, for the super hearts, talked about how what they did, they commandeered all of everybody's personal donations in the church, and sold them. We're making a profit off of them, and then burned some other things. So those were her allegations. I checked Red Cross 990 from 2015. They paid President of Red Cross $540,000 a year. Yeah, LA, I'm not surprised. It's a huge amount of money. And they spend so little on actual donations. I was watching, I believe it was the mayor of Houston, who was saying today, telling people, and it was on Facebook, don't go out, don't give any money to the Red Cross. He was talking about how the Red Cross hasn't shown up there at all to help. They haven't given them any money. You're either Nazi or racist. They're a joke. I know, Catherine. Bannon, it has to be one or the other. Thank you, Robin, for the super hearts. Yeah, so pretty bad. Marlene, we prayed for you the entire time. I know I was, and I know everybody in here was praying for everybody in Florida that they would get through. So maybe, tell people about the Red Cross that they know not to give their money. That shows you how much their marketing, how effective the Red Cross's marketing is. That people give so much money to that organization. They outmarket everybody. Thank you, Robert, for the flowers. So, I mean, it's really atrocious what they do, and when they help so very few and pocket the rest. Not good. Not good. They need to be outed. Good morning from Georgia. I hope everything is okay in Georgia with the weather. I knew that about the Red Cross. How do they do it? Robert said. Monique, good morning. Yes, indeed, I was praying 24/7. What happened with the Red Cross? They supposedly, this was a woman on Facebook was saying they went and took all the donations that people they had gathered. They commandeered them. They went to the churches, took their donations as well, and allocated what they wanted to give to the people, and sold the donations instead of, before it was free. They sold them to people, and then they burned whatever they didn't want. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're hearing us from Canada. We have some Canadians on YouTube watching as well. Yeah, I know, Danielle. So never give to the Red Cross. And also, like I said, I wasn't sure if I believe this woman. I didn't know, but I do know the people in VOP. And if they say that was going on, which they have said that was happening, then I believe it. How could they do that? Barbara, I've heard that there was an executive order signed by Obama that in the midst of crisis, they and FEMA were allowed to do that. Now, I have no idea if that's true, but if that is true, and when I have time, I'm going to investigate that. That is something that President Trump really needs to investigate. Catherine said her grandfather was a big military man and he hated the Red Cross. Yeah. Really pretty bad. And why are people still giving to them? Just that because they don't know. There's a congressman in Texas that is telling people to not give to the Red Cross. LA said, yeah, why isn't that Red Cross news going viral of all the news that should be? You know, we should make it go viral. And John Henry, who was there in Texas helping with the VOP, John, you were a part of that, he says it happened. And again, you know, when they say it happened, I believe it because they don't lie about things. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. Hey, Joe. Sabu salute, how are you? United Way is a scam. Sabu said, yes, I've heard that as well. Red Cross United Way and Salvation Army doesn't give back 10% of what they take in. Yeah, please tweet that out if you will. Agree with John Henry Wanda said. I know it is pretty amazing when you make your money off the backs of people who have lost their homes, lost relatives. I mean, it's ridiculous. Send this to Project Veritas to uncover the investigation on the Red Cross. Yeah, we should. Can you find out how people can help? Brian, are you talking about giving donations or going to like Georgia? Right now, VOP is in Georgia. If you want to give to an organization that gives 100% of their donations to people, mercury1.org, mercuryone.org, they give 100%. Samaritan's Purse, I understand, is a good organization, though I'm not that familiar with them. That's a good idea, Veritas. Just to feel good, I think, Gary said. I've known about the Red Cross for years, Robin said. God is watching them also. John Henry said. Are you talking about, John Henry, are you talking about VOP? Yeah, it just says something, you know, it's kind of like something that you hear and people just kind of think, well, I'll give it to him anyway. Opinion on Rand's protest last night of the defense spending increase bill. Where is Trump when all these travesties are going on? He's right there helping. Veritas 93 still missing after the storm. Not yet checked in. Wow. Franklin Graham's, yes. Samaritan's Purse. All of us. Yes, God is watching all in VOP, all those people. Literally just going to ask about them, Mercury One. Yeah, mercuryone.org is Glenn Beck's organization. So if you don't like Glenn Beck, you may not want to give to them. But I go with what they do. And they give, they don't discriminate. They don't look for certain people. They don't look for certain sections of town, whatever. They give to everybody regardless. And they give 100%. Yes, Robin. Was he, Barbara? I'm not really listening. Another parrot. Who made the parrot bots? What is that for? Just, what's the purpose? No, all roads are paved with good intentions, Gary said. Sad and Andy, sure they didn't start it off like that. Ropes cannot tie. That's okay, Barbara. I understood. But who made the parrot bots? What are they for? What's the purpose? Is it just to distract? Is that what it is? Oh, my gosh. Okay, so in other news, there are Obama lawyers from the Project Democracy, or Protect Democracy Project, that says that they are challenging the pardon of Sheriff Arpaio as being unconstitutional. So since the Obama administration is the one that really went after Sheriff Arpaio, they don't like the fact that he got pardoned. And so several groups that have some of those leftover Obama people in there are going in there to make sure that they can try to get that pardon turned around. Overturned, I should say. Hopefully that's not going to happen. Obama released criminals, and that was okay. I know, Marianne. I mean, did you see how many people he released? There's so many. Hey, Debbie, good to see you. So many that he released, and for them to come in and say, oh, we didn't like what you did with Sheriff Arpaio is crazy. Antonio, I know, Obama pardoned just about everybody. That should fly like a lead balloon. Isn't it the road to hell which is paved with good intentions? Yes, John Henry. Keep destroying your legacy, Obama. Yes, lots of that. You know, we can say keep destroying your legacy, Obama, but I'll tell you something. I think he likes the fact that all of this is turning out, it makes him look bad, but it's also bad stuff. And he likes that. I really have come to think he really likes negative, bad stuff for America. Whatever more like protect all his immigrants. I know. Donald Trump, president can pardon through presidential authority. It's constitutional. Yes, it is, Danielle. Seeing Obama in the White House the other day is disgusting. Ugh. Nancy said. Almost forgot to say your name. Some other news that you guys might like, and depending on whether you like this person or not. Laura Ingraham, it looks like, is getting a 10 o'clock spot on Fox. You're in 3G, no power, not trying to be a sub. It's okay, Marlene. Marlene's, I think, out in her car listening to us. Yeah, so Laura Ingraham looks like she's getting that 10 o'clock spot. I know, I whenever I write an article, I hate to say his name. I really, when I try to put down Obama, I really, it has this reaction that I get. So let's see, some other news shows kind of how our society in some ways is continuing to deteriorate for some people. A 19-year-old shot and killed his mother as she slept because she wouldn't let him keep a puppy that he had brought home recently. So that's amazing. Yeah, just use a bozo and everyone will understand, one friend said. Oh my gosh. I'm thankful DACA will become law. Let's go, Congress. Richard, I don't think many people would agree with you. Yeah, there was something that came out about Ted Cruz. He had liked on his Twitter feed a porn site. And they're saying that he was either hacked or mistakenly did that. So I haven't really heard what his response is, if he's going to give one. The Hannity is probably going to be at 9 o'clock, Monique, they're saying. What a murderous coward. President Trump giving Congress additional 6 months was a great idea. Richard, are you in the right Periscope? I think the Hillary Periscope is down a couple of hours from now. Cruz isn't stupid enough to do that. No, I don't think so, Joe. I think that was somebody else who had his Twitter account or hacking. Why was Obama in the White House? Did he leave something behind, or did Obama leave another landmine for Trump to step on? Yeah, we're going to force Congress not to try to pass amnesty. Yeah, I know. Exactly, Nancy. So let's see. Also, Ted Cruz will not be reelected, John Henry said. Does anybody know why Obama was in the White House? I didn't know that he was. Were you talking about just seeing old pictures, or? I would assume that he would try to go there to... Richard, go down the hall. The Hillary Periscope will be on in a couple of minutes, so might want to get down there. Filming a spot with ex-president, I think. Oh, no. He was trying to collect rent on the White House. Hadn't heard he was there. Danielle said, hopefully to fit for a prison outfit, political paramour. Someone had a nightmare. Exactly. Picking up his laundry. I hope isn't allowed at the White House. Well, they did he allowed Black Lives Matter there. So if those people came in, I guess they allowed him to come back in. Great White House needs to be fumigated again, Sebu said. He's going to be coming out soon, Obama is, supposedly, to do some, to help with ads and marketing for new things coming up. Ted Cruz reeks of swamp, so does Rubio, John Henry said, picking up his pet cockroaches. He was there for something with Pelosi. Ugh. He won't be back. I think the prayer room is gone, Marianne said. Yeah, probably shooting a commercial, for whatever cause they have this week, whether it's the Resist movement, DACA, you name it. I didn't know Obama went to the White House, but my guess is probably check and see if wiretaps are still in place, Monique said. Did Trump make Bambi use the back door like he did to Holly? No, I don't. Nancy said I barfed and ran away. Yeah. Okay, Richard. We'll see you though. Go down the hall, okay? Because the people that you're looking for are down there. I keep telling you. White House laid roach traps. Obama's. Oh gosh. Some of these are too funny to read. Obama has Marxist things to do, Gary said. So true. All right. Kamala Harris or Kamala or I want to be president asked she was asked several times if a convicted felon should be allowed to serve in the U.S. Senate, referring to Menendez, and she refused to answer that, and she was asked 10 times. Hills with the swamp and sewer. And you know that's not unusual because in California they want to allow past offenders to serve in office. So I'm not surprised that she said that. Obama is aiming for the younger generation, said he wants to inspire them as part of his legacy. That's great. It's just great. Did anybody hear what the Pope was talking about yesterday? Was anybody listening? Willie Brown's, yeah, that's what I hear, political paramour. Being pushed by the left, God help us. Yep, I heard LA was chosen for the Olympics, Danielle said. Yeah, I think didn't that happen a couple of weeks back? I help California. I know, Catherine. Somebody help us. Throw us a life raft or something. Yeah, the Pope, it was amazing. The Pope came out and basically said that Donald Trump isn't very pro-life if he is against DACA. Amanda said doesn't listen to the Pope. Yeah, what I wanted to know was, where did all of that information, when he met with Obama, I don't remember him saying to Obama, you're not pro-life because you believe in partial birth abortions. I don't know, maybe I missed that, but I certainly didn't see that. Pope is not God, but a man. That's true, Danielle. This current Pope is a joke and a socialist. I didn't like the Pope. He's a Marxist. He's a globalist. Yep. Right, Obama's young people are indoctrinated and ready to receive him. That's right. I'm sorry, Pope needs to open Vatican gates and let the refugees in. Pope is the most liberal of all. Current Pope is better than others, somebody said. Pope needs to keep his nose out of politics. Yeah. Then let Vatican take in DACA kids, Danielle said. Would be a good idea. Yeah. But it's amazing how he comes out. Well, let's face it. He wants the illegal immigrants because the Catholic charities make a lot of money off of it. Yep, there's money for the church. And, yeah, that's why they want him. Don't remember this Pope going after pro-choice Catholics like Pelosi and Biden, Julia said. DACA fuels Catholic churches. Yeah, it's true. It really is true. They get about $2,000 per person. It's a lot of money. Desperation of church and state, Pope should practice, Amanda said. He's the law and order president. They need to get over it. Crime time is over, Catherine said. Liberals love the Pope when he bashes conservatives. Yeah, and Bannon did say that as well. Separation of church and state. The saying, we want a Pope, not a pundit, Nancy said. I really feel bad for the Catholics who have this Pope because, I know that they're torn between following what the Pope says and knowing that this person is a socialist. I mean, you can't not know. I mean, he's for climate change. He's for DACA. He's for anything with illegal immigrants. And, it's socialism. So what do Catholics do? What should they do? Does anybody have a clue? Pope needs to, yeah. Anybody have a clue what this Pope should do? Thank God I don't do drugs, so a socialist can't help me. Great said. Pope is a dope, Gary said. Go to a Baptist church, leave the church. He's not my Pope, Wayne said. His political comments prove he is fake, Nancy said. This Pope is a globalist socialist. He sure is. He should step down, Nancy said. This Pope needs to still running his church. I'm not sure what you meant there. 2,000 times 800,000 is how much? I know, John Henry, a lot of money. And as I've told you before, there's only 9 charities in the whole United States that can take in these refugees. Catholics need to worship God, not the Pope. Antonio, agree. Jews and blacks were never invited. What are you talking about? Stop giving their money, Catherine said. Hey, Pope had a big, oh yeah, the Pope had a black eye. That's right. He fell down or something coming back from Colombia. I forget what happened. Somehow hit his eye. The Pope is a Marxist, Gary said. Nancy's saying no one worships the Pope. I guess maybe what Antonio was talking about too is instead of maybe worshiping was not the right word, but following what the Pope says rather than following what God says. Just listening in African American male. Hopefully you ladies don't mind. Why would we mind? He washed a foot and took a toe to the eye. No, that's not true, Joe. Idolizing the man is a sin. There you go. I think that's what Antonio was trying to say. St. Peterson College needs help. What for? Great. I saw thousands bow down and kiss Pope's ring. I know that people do that. The priests do that as well, I think. He hurt his eye romping with, oh, John. I can't repeat that. That's bad. That's bad, bad, bad. Okay. Who watches ESPN here? Anybody watch ESPN? Pope forgets not all Christians think he is head of the church. True. Good point, Barbara. Without Catholics, there are no Protestants. That's right, because who was it? Henry the Great, whatever, or he left the Catholic Church so that he could get a divorce. No, ESPN is too liberal. I used to watch, but no longer. Yeah. So I don't know what happened, and I don't watch this. I don't watch ESPN. I don't watch a show. Henry the Eighth. Yeah. He wanted a divorce, so he left the Catholic Church, started the Episcopalian faith, and from there the rest is history, as they say, until it's erased. A woman named, and I'll probably get her name wrong, Jamile, Jemele. I don't know how you pronounce it. Last name Hill. She's the co-host of the 6 p.m. Sports Center on ESPN. Yesterday, she had a lot of really horrible things to say. Well, Baptists would argue we never came from Catholic Church. Jamile, okay. The saints are redirecting. I just got a news clip that the Pope attacked President Trump again. Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about, Danielle. He was basically saying that the Pope isn't pro-life if he gets rid of DACA. Catholics need to live by the word of God and not the dictates of the Pope, Josette said. Now, Jamile Hill, basically of ESPN, one of her tweets that I wrote down, Donald Trump is a white supremacist who has largely surrounded himself with other white supremacists and other anti-Trump statements. She made multiple rants that were just amazingly bad about Donald Trump, the administration, I mean, on and on. So if you do watch ESPN, my question is to you is why? And if you do watch ESPN and you want to keep watching ESPN, why don't you go over to ESPN and tweet to them today and let us get this trending in regards to this woman who is very foul. Is ESPN backing their employee? Lori, they're not saying otherwise. So you can go check out her website or her timeline and find out what she's saying and find out if ESPN is saying anything about it. John Henry said, why is being white so bad? John Henry, it's only bad since Obama, really. I mean, he made it really bad. And white privilege, white supremacists, white this, white that. Most white people I know, most black people I know, most Asian people and Hispanic people I know don't really support white supremacists. But that has nothing to do with white people. He should sue her. Yeah, but, Stephen, the thing of it is he's a public figure. And it's very hard to do in a public figure like Donald Trump. Yeah, I stopped watching the NFL. I haven't seen a football game. I'm not going to watch football. And I'm not going to, put up with that. I only know that it's like to be white, the end. I'm glad I don't have cable or satellite. My sanity is intact, Robin said. Probably better off than the rest of us. There are other nationalities. Yeah, and you know what? Who cares what nationality, what race you are? I don't really care. I want to know who you are as a person. And if you treat me well, I'm going to treat you well in response. So I don't understand why we have to make a big deal all day long, every day, and twice on Sunday about somebody's race. I heard the ESPN viewership is way down, not surprised, and NFL is too, Josette. Sick of being called white, period. I'm Irish, Scottish, and Italian American. People need to stop stereotyping people's actions. Just were they said. That is what I was saying for 40 years. I mean, it's just ridiculous. People just need to, get along, and people need to help each other, like we've seen in Houston and Florida. Yes, Obama is half white. Stop Incumbency said. I'm going to put that my skin color purple on all paperwork. Danielle said. If you guys could, would you please retweet this? We're at the halfway park. I'm a minority on my street, more black and Hispanic neighbors than white. We don't have a problem. I know, John Henry. I have a very diverse street that I live on. Nobody goes out each day and says, oh, what race is here? I think there was a white person that I saw was arrested in Florida for looting. When will freckled be a race? I don't know, Nancy. When you make it one, probably. That's all you have to do these days. But a white person put you out of work? No, I don't think so. Hey, Carmen, good to see you. We are the human race, Robin said. Exactly. Well, I mean, you can say a white person put you out of a job, but somebody who is white or Hispanic or Asian is going to say a black person put them out of the job. I mean, why don't you go get another job? It is stupid, John Henry. The left started the race crap. They have nothing else left to attack on the right. I know, Stephen. Race doesn't matter. Your morals are important. Exactly. Your character is important. I mean, I could have said my whole life that men put me out of a job because I'm a female. And in some instances, they did. Guess what? That made me try harder. There's always going to be somebody who is going to be putting you out of a job or somebody else out of a job. You have to just, you can just keep thinking about it, or you can move on. If somebody did something illegally to you and you want to file a lawsuit, go ahead. But if you're going to let that keep you down, then you're going to always be down. And that part is your fault. Obama's wife. Okay, John Henry, stop. Thank you, Carmen, for liking and sharing. Thank you, everybody. If you would please retweet this, I really appreciate it. It's the poor me mentality, Stephen said. It's the victim mentality. Everything is white supremacist now, just a way to shut down the debate. Yes, Julia, we were talking the other day. I mean, even Jewish people, they're telling them, you're a white supremacist or whatever, so to shut them down as well. I mean, it's to shut everybody down. If you can't see that it's against your First Amendment, that's what you're trying to do is silence you, then I don't know if you'll ever be able to see it. Word racist is so overused, it has become meaningless. Thanks, liberals. Yes. Now you're a racist if you don't like a certain type of coffee. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Thank you, Danielle, for the super hearts. Crying wolf, I know. They can call me what they want. I will not be silenced. Amanda, absolutely. I love white people. That's great. We love white people, black people, Asian, Hispanic. We love all people, period. Again, if their character, if they treat you well, then I love that person. If you're going to mistreat me, then I'm not going to love your behavior. Intolerance has been transformed into intolerance, Lynn said. Tolerance is only if you tolerate what the left is doing and what the left wants. We are a melting pot, Chicago Pop says. Now you're a racist if you complain about the looters in Florida. I mean, if you look at something, white milk. Oh, Gary. African, East Indian, and Scottish descent, Josette said. I don't like Starbucks. I guess I'm a racist. Exactly, John Henry. Why don't you like Starbucks? And that is true. If you don't like something that maybe the liberal left likes, they're going to call you a racist. It has nothing to do with race whatsoever. It doesn't seem to matter. If you've noticed, there's a trend on things. The trend is that to expand the definition of things. For example, the Pope saying that President Trump isn't pro-life unless he is pro-DACA. He is expanding the definition of what pro-life means to include people that are already born and people who are here from DACA. Whereas before, pro-life meant whether or not you agreed in wanting to have abortions or not, if you were for abortions or not. So they're expanding that. Same thing is true about other things like racism. They expand the definition of what it is. It's true they've been saying that white milk is racist, Gary said. Merit-based growth isn't racism. Exactly. To be a racist, don't you have to hate that entire race? No, Stephen, you have to think that in a way, you have to think that your race is superior to the other race. That's the definition. My children are mixed. I've dealt with racism for 50 years. I know, it's ridiculous. Pope is into that global warming also. Right. He loves climate change. He had so much more, the Pope had so much more in common with Obama, and that's why he never really called Obama out. Obama believed in climate change. Obama is for illegal immigration. What's the deal with Dairy Queen? Oh, you're interested in Dairy Queen, EQ. Okay. So if you haven't had a chance, I posted an article at susanknowles.com about a guy he's a franchisee owner of Dairy Queen in Wisconsin. Basically what he did is he put a sign on his window that says, hey people, you might not like me because I could be viewed as politically incorrect. And the reason is because people were complaining at one time that they went there and they heard Christian music. And so he wanted to let people know, look, if you come in here, here's what's going to happen. I play Christian music. People say Merry Christmas, Happy Easter, and you're going to hear Christian things. So you have the choice of coming in or not. So they asked Dairy Queen, what do you think about this? And Dairy Queen's like, we just ask that the owners respect everyone and don't deny service, on and on and on, the typical stuff. And the guy from Dairy Queen, the owner, said that, I know, Ben, he said, I'll be glad to sit down and talk to anybody and help them feel comfortable. And if you don't want to have any type of talk about God or religion, I'll even arrange to help you get your ice cream without having to be, subjected to that. Yeah, I know, John Henry. They did. They hired. They were teaching the refugees at Starbucks, and so they could hire them. I don't know if they actually hired the 10,000 vets, but they did the other. Pope is for Italian people. Yeah, that guy needs to be supported. Yeah, you can go to the drive-thru. See, what we have to do as Christians is stop allowing ourselves to be attacked and roll over. I'd like to see a challenge to see Donald Trump order full investigation into the Red Cross stealing, laundering, etc., like he should as president. Brian, I agree with you. I think that's something, if you want to start a petition, let me know, and I can talk to people, and we can sign that petition. We can also tweet to President Trump. We can also call the White House. I think those things need to be investigated. I know vets should come first, Foster. I agree. Whatever happened to having the right to refuse service that is subject to franchise contract? I know, EQ, basically anymore, you don't have very many rights as an owner. They have a commercial about it, Catherine said, so they hired the veterans. No shirt, no shoes. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Nancy, these days, I think they would probably have to serve you anyway. Not just that, but Trump needs an antitrust laws for Apple, Google, and Facebook, Political said. Yes. Jesus got angry and stood up for his father's law being made. Chick-fil-A is a Christian-based company that hires Muslims, Mennonites, and other religions. I think we also, if you want to support a Christian-run operation, that would be Hobby Lobby and also In-N-Out Burgers. I'm a Christian and white, so I have 2 strikes against you. That's right, Lori. Which hand do they serve you with? God, John Henry. Lori, you have 2 strikes, but if you're a male, if you were a male, you'd be out already. Right? But like McDonald's, you still have to go by company policy. Chick-fil-A is excellent. Danielle said Chick-fil-A doesn't hire Muslims. I don't know what they ask at Chick-fil-A. I don't think they discriminate in their hiring policies, but I don't know if really that many Muslims who might want to work there, so I don't know. Robin said she loves Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A. I can identify as a male, though. Exactly, Lori. There's your strike 3. They are Christians. That's right. Good news that you're not going to hear. Oh, that's right. They have bacon there. Median household income has risen 3.2% to $59,039 in 2016. And the poverty rate decreased to 12.7%, according to the USA Today. I love Christian businesses, Nancy said. Yeah, I love Dunkin' Donuts. That's Dunkin' Donuts coffee. That's what I drink. I don't drink Starbucks. Haven't gone to Starbucks in years. Let's see. Some good news out of Maryland, again, that you're not going to hear from in any mainstream media. But a circuit judge in Maryland has ordered the state bar there to open an investigation into 3 attorneys who allegedly deleted thousands of Hillary's emails. And they wanted the whole thing dismissed from court. When the judge said, why should we dismiss this from court? The response was, well, I can't tell you because all of it's confidential. You buy organic coffee, Nancy said. Maybe I'll have to look into that, Nancy. Chick-fil-A closes on Sunday. That's right. John Henry. Chick-fil-A has been attacked repeatedly by Antifa and Marxist types for years. Monique says she loves Dunkin' Donuts too. So basically, the state bar is going to have to open up the case in Maryland to investigate those 3 attorneys. If everything is confidential, I don't know how they're going to make an investigation. Maybe they should hire Mueller. And I was being sarcastic there. So there's also somebody else in amongst the Democrats that they're thinking might be somebody who in 2020 tries to run against President Trump. So you may want to keep an eye on this person just because, you know, as always, we should keep an eye on what the left is doing. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, D-I-M-O-N. They call him a shadow president right now because he frequently has meetings with lawmakers over many issues. He didn't like Trump abandoning climate change. He didn't like Trump's free trade threats. And he doesn't like the transgender ban nor the getting rid of DACA. So he is a pure Democrat, Jamie Dimon. So fill you in on Chick-fil-A. What do you want to know? You guys answer a question real quick. I'll be right back. I was trying to find an article. I know. I was trying to find an article because I wanted to bring it out and try to mention it today. And I think I have it. I think I found it. I don't know if you heard about this in regards to Al Sharpton's daughter. And I don't know how true this is. Of course, we're never probably going to ever hear about this. But a birthday celebration for Al Sharpton's daughter ended in handcuffs early on Saturday after she allegedly punched a cab driver in Midtown and snatched his keys. Did anybody hear about that? They don't have a Democrat who can run against Trump. The Democrats are disarray and confused. They are. So isn't it amazing, though, that you really haven't heard anything about this? You know, it didn't make the national news or anything. If this had been one of Trump's kids, you would have really heard about it. Or one of the Bush kids, really. Let's really pray on this, Susan, that they open an investigation on these attorneys and that God unveils them for who they really are. Well, Monique, and that's also the investigation would just be with the state bar. So, state bar doesn't have that much power. They have some, but not much. Yeah, just that part about Eric Bowling's son. He may not have died from suicide. That was something that TMZ said, and they said that pretty quickly. That may not be accurate. They're saying that it wasn't suicide, that they did an autopsy, and they still don't know. So anyway, so supposedly the Sharpton's daughter was sitting in the front seat, grabbed the keys, and tossed them, something she later admitted to the police. Police said that one of Sharpton's friends filmed the whole ordeal, which showed that Sharpton punched the driver in the chest while the taxi operator tried to retrieve his keys. Again, you'll never hear about it. I get a lot of news off of Twitter, and it turns out to be the truth. Sometimes, Catherine, absolutely. And that's why if you hear things like that on Twitter, always investigate it. Sharpton, the true racist. Let's see. So, lock her up. Hillary is saying, okay, John Henry, we'll see you later. Take care. And I'll wait for your email. Hillary says she's convinced that there was collusion between Trump associates and Russia. So, like father, like daughter, Marianne said. I'm sure that's going to help book sales, right? Sad for Eric. I know it's a horrible loss. Sharpton's only for himself, like Jesse Jackson. Always has been, always will be, not for the people. Hasn't really done anything for the people unless it fills his pocket. Hillary is an idiot, Amanda said. What about her and Podesta? Well, Ben, didn't you know? Nobody's interested in that. So that's why we're not doing any investigations. Robin said Hillary can shut up now. She's a loser. Tell us what you really feel. How you really feel there, Robin. Let's see. The White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, fired back at Luis Gutierrez, who called him a disgrace to the uniform. And Gutierrez said Kelly has no honor and should be drummed out of the White House, along with the white supremacists and those enabling the president's actions by just following orders. Gutierrez is a loose cannon. Kelly wrote back, Congress did nothing to help so-called dreamers when they had the chance. As far as the congressmen and other irresponsible members of Congress are concerned, they have the luxury of saying what they want as they do nothing and have almost no responsibility, Kelly said. Have to agree with him there. If you want news, you don't go to MSM. You come here with Susan for the news. Thank you, Gary. What are those lawyers doing today, I wonder, talking to peasants in Russia? Obama, Clinton's, etc. belong locked up in Gitmo, Debbie said. Yep. So John Kelly not too happy with Gutierrez. Save a tree, don't buy Hillary's book. Save your brain from exploding on bad writing and horrible stuff. I understand that one of the things that she said is their biggest regret is saying that she was going to close down the coal mines in West Virginia. Duh, Hillary. This is where I get my news. Thank you, Robin. And even worse, it looks like he would not be returning. No, he's not coming back to Fox News. He was fired just at Eric Bowling, was fired from Fox News on the same day that he found out his son died. Are they having security at her signings? You know they probably will. Danielle said Crooked Hillary is blaming everyone. I just saw it already marked down. Yep, 40%, Foster. Before it's even come out, they're slashing the sale prices. They want somebody to buy the book. Her biggest regret is being a Clinton, Stephen said. I thought it would be marrying Bill, but I don't know. Yeah. Yes, there's security at the Barnes & Noble for her. Whew. Not why I shut down jobs for people who won't vote. I know who would vote. Because West Virginia is mostly a Democrat town, but they voted for Trump because of that. You bought Debbie Wasserman Schultz book at the dollar store? Well, then you were ripped off. The fact no one seems to care about locking Hillary up irritates me beyond words. And yes, we have to stand firm with our beliefs or we will lose them. Dress rehearsal, as my friend says, Carmen said just now, through me. $1 I'll never get back. I know, Ben. I read she's considering divorcing Bill. We are all thinking the same. Too nice to say it about security. Thank God in heaven she lost. Can you imagine? No, Catherine, I can't. That would be too much of a nightmare. They usually slash the books beforehand. Somebody's Foster said, if I were Hillary, I'd go hide somewhere. Seriously, Carmen said. Well, Carmen, but you don't think like a Democrat because Hillary sees herself as a winner, and most other Democrats, liberals, far left, see her as a winner too. They just see her as somebody who was denied. Not that she is a loser or bad or anything else. They just see that she was denied for the most part. Her book could be a good fire starter. There you go. And how about Glenn Beck, the sellout that flopped to Clinton? No, he didn't flop to Clinton, EQ. He was for Ted Cruz, but never Clinton. That's what the left tried to make it out, that he was for Hillary Clinton. He was never for Hillary Clinton. The line is full of Clinton Foundation donors wanting their money back. Oh, my God. They will never see that money. I just saw a guy trolling her book signing in New York City. There is security there. Do they have to pay to see her at a book signing? What was it? I guess if you want a private meeting, it's $125. $125 at $2,400 or something like that in Canada. I mean, it's ridiculous. I can't remember the amount. Whatever the amount, if it's over a penny, I wouldn't pay. And if I spent a penny to talk to her, I'd want change back. She will never divorce Bill. Right now, they can't be forced to testify against each other. Yeah, secrets. That's right. Husband and wife can't be forced to testify against each other. And man, if they could talk, whoo. Disgrace, all never Trumpers were de facto for Clinton. Oh, disagree, all never Trumpers were de facto for Clinton. Julia, I know for sure that he wasn't for Clinton. I mean, I know that. I used to write for The Blaze as a contributor. What happened to her running for New York City mayor? I don't know that that's off the table, Nancy. That might come back up. She said, but she did say she was done with politics or as being a candidate, but that she wasn't done with politics. So I have no idea. People are showing up with signs asking what happened to Benghazi. Yeah, Beck was for Cruz, totally. That's true, Danielle. He was. He never got off of Ted Cruz even when it was over. He just couldn't get over it. She's a very sour loser, Gisette said. Oh my gosh, yes, if they divorce, I'd love to see her get locked up first. I don't believe anything she has to say. Oh, and she would never lie to us, right? Beck hated Trump, Danielle said. He still really hasn't come around to Trump. I mean, he'll talk about him occasionally, but I don't think he would ever be pro-Trump. Is Obama ever with Michelle these days? I've never seen them too much together, Barbara. Twitter is going nuts with the cruise porn thing, Ibis said. He treated Ben Carson badly. Will not forget that, Julia said. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were disappointed, and a lot of people have left. The viewers have left Julia for that very reason. In the beginning, Beck had a lot of hatred for Trump as I used to listen to him. Danielle said, yeah. He really was never pro-Trump at all. And again, always for Cruz, spent a lot of money on Cruz, and never got over it. So, you know. That's his loss. Oh, and as one other thing, Romney has said that he's going to maybe run for the Senate seat that's currently occupied by Senator Orrin Hatch if Hatch decides to retire. So I'm sure everybody will go out and vote for Romney. Not. I know. Like, why are you coming back into politics? Why? Beck is all over the place and thinks he needs to work for salvation. Couldn't watch him anymore, Robin said. Yeah, he is kind of trying to find his way. Amanda said, never Romney. In Utah, he's a lock. Yeah, that's true. Romney would be. And Catherine said, never either. Beck says Trump is not conservative enough. Foster said all the old goat rhinos need to go home. I know, Danielle. No to mittens. Yep. All right, you guys, thank you so much. We've run out of time. If you would, everybody, please retweet this, share this as much as you can. Everybody on YouTube, if you would give me a thumbs up and share this, and on Facebook as well, I would really appreciate it. You guys have a great day. So glad all of you in Florida are okay and things are getting back to normal. Have a great one. I'm so glad that it's moving slowly out of here, but no longer a hurricane. So thank you so much for coming. We'll see you again tomorrow. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Please retweet. Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. If you would, please retweet this. All right.